Greetings, my sports to the bone family. Welcome back to another video. Thank you all for checking this one out. The love and the support is indeed appreciated. Alright, so couple of cricketing stories that I want us to take a look at in this one. So the IlT20 league, it is definitely growing on a lot of people. And we see where the teams, they have announced the players that they have retained and the players that they have released. Quite a few West Indians are actually on the list as it relates to being retained and being released. So I'm gonna go through that, and I am also gonna share some information on how the under 19 players in the region are actually doing. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about them much. But the different countries, they are going up against each other. So I'm going to look at a couple of the scorecards and just give you some info. Also, we are going to be live this evening at 6 p.m. our usual time. If you are there in Jamaica, that's around about 5 p.m. your time. We're going to be live for our usual 1 hour show. So just come on out and have a chat with us. All right, so the IlT20 league, as I said, it's growing on a lot of people. When it just started, quite a few people weren't too happy about it. But the IPL teams, they have, they are the ones running it. They are acting as parent organization, and they have the little teams there, So quite a few people, West Indians, they have been released and some have been retained. So we're going to go through it. I think the second staging starts early next year, January of next year. So, let me see if I can work my way through the list here. All right. So as it relates to the first team, the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders, they have retained Andre Russell and Sunil Narain. So Andre Russell and Sunil Narain, they have been retained, and Brandon King, they decided to release Brandon King. So he has been released. He's and also Rayman Reefa and Brandon King alongside Akil Hussain. Those three players from the Caribbean, they have been released by the Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. And as you know, the Calcutta Knight Riders, they are the parent company for this team. And as it relates to the Desert Vipers, let me see who we have on there still. Sheffield Rutherford is still there on the Desert Vipers alongside Sheldon Cottrell. So those two guys from the Caribbean, Sheffield Rutherford and Sheldon Cottrell, they are still there. I'm not seeing any West Indian that they would have released from this team. The Dubai Capitals, they are in charge, the Delhi Capitals, they are in charge of this one. And Ravman Powell, they decided to keep Ravman Powell. And as it relates to the release now, Fabian Allen, they have decided to part ways with Fabian Allen. So, Fabian Allen no longer a member of this team. Well, I don't know if any team going to pick him up, but as it relates to the ones that have been retained, he hasn't been retained. So let us see if teams will pick these guys up. The Gulf Giants, let me see. The Gulf Giants, Shemran Hetzmeyer, he is still there alongside Carlos Brathwaite. So Shemran Hetzmeyer and Carlos Brathwaite, they have been retained by this team. And as it relates to players being released, Dominic Drakes, he has been released by this team. So let us see if somebody will pick him up. For the Mumbai Indian Emirates now, and we know Kieran Pollard, he's the captain of this team. The players that they have retained, Andre Fletcher, Dwayne Bravo, Kieran Pollard. We also see Nicholas Pooran is there. McKenny Clark is also there. These players, and in terms of the players that they would have released, I'm not seeing any West Indian there that they would have released. All right, moving on to the Sharjah Warriors. Now for this team, I am not seeing any West Indian that they would have retained, but under the release, Evan Lewis is there. So they have decided to part ways with Evan Lewis, and yeah, that's about it right there. I'm not seeing any other player that they from the West Indies there. So, it's going to be interesting, my viewers and subscribers, to see if some of these major names that they decided to part ways with will be picked up. People like the Evan Lewis, the Dominic Drakes, the Brandon King, and these guys. Brandon King is now playing a very important role in West Indies cricket. So, even if they don't pick him up, I am hoping that he will remain focused and will continue to improve and continue to do a job for us where West Indies cricket is concerned. All right. So yeah, that is basically the information where this is concerned, and this information I took it from the ESPN Cricket Info. All right. So let us move on to the under 19 guys now. So they have been busy from the other day, but we haven't gotten a chance to talk much about it. So I think the first game that was played, we had the Jamaica under 19 boys taking on the Guyana under 19 boys. And the Jamaicans, they were victorious in this one. Yeah, man, they were victorious. They actually bowled out Guyana for 78, I think it was, and we made 78 for 2 in 14 overs. So, not a good look at all, my viewers and subscribers, So Jamaica won that by 8 wickets with 90-odd deliveries to spare. Trinidad and Tobago, they went up against Barbados, and the Barbados, they actually won that game there by 37 runs, and we would have seen Barbados batting and making 152. Trinidad, they were only able to get 100. They were only able to get 115. Same thing for the Windward Islands and the Leeward Islands teams. So low scoring encounter. Windward Islands, they batted first, and well, the Windward Islands won that game by 42 runs. They batted first and they made 200 for 8 in their 50 overs. Leeward Islands, they were bowled out for 158. And yeah, that is basically how it looked there. Let me see if we can find some more information on the men. The Jamaica under 19 boys, they took on Trinidad and Tobago, and the Jamaica boys, they were able to secure a victory in that game. So the Jamaica boys won that game by 6 wickets with 102 deliveries to spare. So Trinidad and Tobago, they batted first and they made 158 all out in 47 overs. And Jamaica, they scored 159 for 4 in 35 overs. The Leeward Islands, they were victorious against the Guyana team. So Leeward Islands won that game by 8 wickets. So Guyana batted first, scored 108 runs in 35.2 overs. The Leeward Islands, they made 109 for 2 in 31.4 overs. And then we would have seen Windward Islands and Barbados doing battle. The Windward Islands team, they won that game there by 4 wickets. So Barbados batted first and they would have scored 137 in 39.4 overs. And the Windward Islands, they got 138 for 6 in 44.1 overs. Therefore winning that game there by 4 wickets. So, quite a few of the games, they have been low scoring encounters. So, we are definitely hoping that the guys will find a way to start scoring more runs. Now, giving you some more information here, we would have had Guyana going up against Barbados. Guyana won that game by 54 runs. So Guyana batted first. They scored 178 for 9 off their 50 overs. Barbados 104 for 8. And I think that was because of the Duckworth-Lewis system. So the target they got was 177 and they made, let me see, 104. They made 104 for 8 in 27.2 overs. So they weren't able to get the target. So they lost that game by 54 runs. Now the Leeward Islands and the Jamaicans, they did battle. The Jamaicans, they were able to secure a victory by 6 wickets. So Leeward Islands in that game batted first and they scored 157 for all out in 40.3 overs. The Jamaicans, they made 121 for 4 in 33 overs. And we would have seen the Windward Islands team going up against the Trinidad and Tobago team. Score, I think let me see if I can pull up the information on that very, very low scoring encounter here, my viewers and subscribers. I don't know if this one was hampered by rain. I'm seeing Trinidad 123 and Windward 62 for 1. So seems as if there was that was a no result game. That was a no result. Seems as if there was some rain and thing. And for match 9, bear in mind, my peeps, I'm not giving you full out information on these games. Hopefully I can take a look at the top performers in another video, just giving you an idea of the amount of runs that the guys are actually scoring. Not a lot of runs, you understand. In match 9, Guyana, well, that's a women's game. I'm gonna do the women's in a different video. So yeah, I guess that was pretty much it for the males. So just bear with me. Hopefully in another video I can just have a seat, take a look at the top performers so far, the guys that are scoring runs, the ones that are taking wickets, and highlight some of the names so you guys can be able to track the performances of some of these players. So that is basically it. We can discuss this further on the live show later on today. Big up on yourself.